Jeff Haynes will tell you that he had a full head of hair before he started coaching here at Stockton. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Well, he had a little more hair than he has now. He actually had a little comb-over thing going. But after a bet and a big win, Nick Agacho took care of shaving that off. Another thing I remember when I first met Hainesy was he said we were going to win a national championship here at Stockton. Ambitious, I thought at the time, but one thing I eventually learned, I think everyone here at Stockton learns, is that Jeff Haynes is always right. Even when Jeff Haynes is wrong, Jeff Haynes is always right. Well, Hainesy, you were right about that one. We did win the national championship. Before I move on, I think it's best to start in the beginning to thank two people who started this all, the late Dr. Vera King Ferris and the late G. Larry James. If it were for not their efforts, we would not be talking about Stockton athletics, let alone a men's soccer team, national championship, or even a Hall of Fame. How we got here started with the alumni and coaches that came before us. Tim Lenahan was the coach in charge of the program before Jeff Haynes and took the men's soccer team from a perennial 500 record to its first win against Rowan, first NJAC title, first NCAA tournament berth. So a big thank you to Coach Lenahan and all the alumni before us. Thank you. A major part of that 1995 men's soccer team that broke so much ground was the goalkeeper Joe Eimer, also known as Twitter. As many people know, his contributions did not stop with his playing days. He continued on to be a big part of the program through the 2001 season and even today. So for me, it is an honor to thank you, Twit, not only as a representative from the national championship team, but for everyone that has played for Stockton since you. From Tim Lenahan, the program turned to Jeff Haynes, who delivered on his promise we would win a national championship. Now, the one thing I will take away from this team is the faith we had in each other. We all knew our roles. We all had confidence in each other that we could play out our best and beat anyone on any given night. I remember the locker room before the national championship game. Not one guy was nervous. In fact, I remember sitting next to Greg Rutler, Mike Ford, and Dave Mattis, and they were acting like it was just any other game. That's when I knew we were going to win a national championship that night. We're all friends off the field. Many of us lived together. After a big win or loss, we would all be together. We're in many ways like a family. And speaking of family, our own families deserve a big thank you from all of us as well, especially our parents. You guys brought a new meaning to the term Meals on Wheels. Whether we were in Colorado, Virginia, or in Jersey City, you guys were always there for us. It wasn't always about a sandwich or a pizza, though that was great. It was about seeing you in such support of the program and our mission. You always had a big smile or a hug for us, win or lose. Again, on behalf of the 2001 team, to all our moms, dad, and families, thank you for everything you have done for us. Friends and fans have also played a major role in this national championship. There's a lot out there, and we truly thank them all. Unfortunately, I do not have time to name everyone I would like to, but there's a couple people I would like to mention. Professor Jan Colin and Professor Tom Greitz, who you could see in every home game sitting there and cheering us on, and also on there in campus, ready to help us out whenever they could. Thank you. A former teammate of ours, Tommy Sauer, finished his 4 years of playing the year before we won the national championship. He became our biggest supporter and brought the masses out to support us as well. Thank you, Tommy, and always consider yourself a member of this team. Again, there are many supporters and people behind the scenes that were part of this team and its success. In fact, too many to name. Everyone at athletics, Lonnie Folks, John Heck and his crew were great. To each and every one of you out there, thank you. My favorite sports cliche is that there is no I in team. That's not the part of the saying that grips me. It's the second line that for some reason is never included. The second line goes something like this, but there is an I in win. The I stands for individuals. As an individual, you need accountability, integrity, desire, and hard work. Our effort as individuals is what brought this team success. Each member of this team held on not only their commitment to the team's cause, but to win at their own individual promise to themselves, to leave it all out there on the field. I remember a lot of things through the years at Stockton, playing here. But one of the things that always seems to come back to me is the one-on-one tournament that we would play in preseason. I remember a lot of these matchups vividly. One day it was Chris Myrick versus Jason Kufta. That was probably the most intense 2 minutes I ever witnessed. Dave Mattis versus Pete Lambert looked like George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali. Doug Cavanero versus Jeff Moore, they could have battled for hours with neither one wanting to give up an inch. There wasn't a national championship on the line or media coverage or even a big crowd. They went at it with everything they had simply for the desire to win and be competitive. I do not remember who won these matchups or even who had the upper hand, but I do remember how these types of efforts that every player on this team had contributed at different times would bring out the best in each other. Now, effort and hard work, desire, they're not the only ingredients for success to a team. Let's face it, you need talent too, and this team had plenty of it. You heard about our 2 All-American team captain, Hall of Famers, Greg Rutler and Jeff Moore, both unbelievable players. But this team had 2 other All-Americans and 2 future Hall of Famers, John Epley and Michael McIlernan, also unbelievable players. The team had great athletes and some players that simply made everyone around them better. One guy that always comes to mind is Rasheed Hawkins. There was a lot of talent on this team from all the classes, freshmen through seniors. In fact, every starting lineup from that season featured at least one member from each class. We could have anywhere from 3 to 5 freshmen starting on any given night, led by, of course, our goalkeeper Brett Steinberg and our preseason point champion Tom Farron. I could go on all night telling you about these guys, the team, our contributions, best moments, and even worst moments. Who could forget Jamie Nelson's game winner against St. Lawrence? But I think we all were here to see a lot of them, and to reiterate what we already know, I think is a blessing. I spoke to a couple of parents about this team in the last week, and they both said the same thing. You played with a great bunch of guys. I did play with a great bunch of guys. They also said you'll never forget your accomplishments, and you always have that bond together. Well, I know I speak for all of us when I say I look forward to celebrating that bond time and time again. I'll close the same way I started with Coach Haynes. There were many people I already mentioned that contributed to the success in 2001. Hainesy, I cannot forget to thank you from all of us. Even in a season where you lost your father, you were the best coach you could be for us. You were a friend, a dad, and an enemy. You made it work, you made all the right turns, you drove the bus, and you brought us to the national championship. I can't say enough for all that you did for us and how you impacted our lives, not only in that one season, but as you will for the rest of it. All I can say, Hainesy, is you're the best. Thanks again for everyone coming out tonight, and a special congratulations to the other inductees. Good night.